Welcome back to the John Fourcade Show, sponsored each week by Veterans Ford. Another one of our John Fourcade specials, a 2014 Ford Fusion sedan, $18,495. It regularly sells for $25,155, so you can get it right here at Veterans Ford. $18,495, a 2014 Ford Fusion sedan, right here at Veterans Ford. Welcome back to the John Fourcade Show, sponsored each week by Veterans Ford. Mike Detillier along with John Fourcade. John, we didn't get to talk some of the specifics of the Green Bay-Dallas football game, but one of the things right off the bat was the calf injury to Aaron Rodgers took away a real strength of his, and that was his ability to maneuver around the pocket. You know, as a guy, that was a big part of your game, to improvise, stretch out a play, extend a play. That took away a lot. All of a sudden, it looked as though in the second half, though, that calf started to loosen up a little bit, and he was able to maneuver around. And boy, he was dead on with Randall Cobb, Jordy Nelson, and a young man, Davante Adams from Fresno State, their second-round pick, really came in big.
Well, you want to talk about the injury to him. If you saw that first touchdown pass, he really was trying to run. And when he figured out, okay, it's going to be tough for me to get where I need to go at, and his receiver broke open, he threw the touchdown pass, I told myself, man, I don't know if he's going to be able to make this whole football game. And like you said, as the game went on, he got better with the calf injury. The game looked like it was going to be a Dallas Cowboy, maybe take away and do some things there. I was impressed with the way Cowboys played, but you got to give credit where credit is due. These guys from Green Bay, the receiving corps, the young rookie steps up. I mean, it's just the things they played 60 minutes of football, and they got some turnovers there and they got some stops there that helped Green Bay win this football game. But it was another game that came down to the end, and it came down to that call.
You know, one of the things is former Green Bay Packer general manager Ron Wolf pointed out that, you know, these playoff games and late games gives a chance for a young rookie to kind of get his feet down. We saw early in the season, Davante Adams was dropping as many passes as he caught. Now, as the season went on, he became more familiar with Aaron Rodgers. They got great rapport, and he was the go-to guy. It wasn't Jordy Nelson. It was actually the rookie Davante Adams that was the guy that he was targeting in big play, third down situation.
Mike, I think the reason why it became that, because you only can cover so many guys. You know, there's only as many players in the secondary you can go with. And I think what happened was they figured, well, we can cover this guy one-on-one, or maybe put, you know, someone else on him instead of one of our better guys on better players. They had to cover Jordy Nelson and the other guys, and it looked like this guy was one-on-one, and Green Bay was licking his chops, saying, wait a second here, we got a guy one-on-one nobody thinks about, and he stepped up to the plate, you know, and there's Cobb out there, too, playing some good football. So I'm impressed with what Green Bay did in this football game, because they played against a good Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to give my hats to it.
I
Dallas
give them
came
full
in there
credit
and played a solid football game, had a chance to win it, and like I said, came down to that call. That would have been first and goal at the 2, but it wasn't. But you got to give your hats off, and just the fact that this guy's hurt, going into Seattle, it's a tough task to ask.
You know, one of the things, and he's been critical all season long, there's been some criticism of the signing of Julius Peppers. You know what? Great players don't always play great, but when the lights came on, Julius Peppers was a big-time football player.
I think the Packers defense has got some players on there. Why people always dog them? Because, you know, Dom Capers is a heck of a coach. We all know what he is. I played with him here in New Orleans. They got some players on the Green Bay side of the defense, and some guys have stepped up, some guys maybe haven't stepped up. But it's a good defense. If they can get all gelled at the right moment, I think Green Bay's got a defense enough to could take them to the Super Bowl. Just don't know if they're going to get there. They might have to be buying a ticket to go to the Super Bowl.
Well, the only thing bad is the fact that Super Bowl, you got to pass through Seattle to get there. Going back to Seattle, again, they do what they do best. They hit the deep ball every once in a while with Wilson to Wilson, so to speak, 31-17. But they did it running the football in the third and fourth quarter with Marshawn Lynch. But every once in a while, man, Russell Wilson will tag it downfield. You go to the tight end, another Wilson, but also Jermaine Kearse. Everybody's kind of involved. They hit the big play. They did lose Paul Richardson in this football game, who was their speed guy.
Well, if you look at it, Mike, the way the Seattle team is, they're going to play 60 minutes of football. If you want to stop the running department, they'll find a way with Russell Wilson to throw the ball to the tight end, use him on his outside with his legs. The guy can really hurt you. He's not one of these star-studded Drew Breeses and Peyton Mannings and stuff. He gets the job done. But let's be honest here. defense wins for Seattle. With that defensive unit, it made Cam Newton look pretty bad throughout the game. It wasn't even a close football game. It might have been early, but overall, Seattle was a dominating team at home. It's hard to win up there.
You know, the other thing, too, is the fact that he gets no credit but Pete Carroll.
Oh.
Man, you can say what you want and say, oh, man, you know, he's a college coach. He's a rah-rah, tis-boom-bah type guy. All I know is he's got a Super Bowl ring.
And might have two.
And might have a second one right on it. That guy has been able to gel that talent. And there's some volatile personalities on that team.
Say, Mike,
and you gotta give him credit for it.
And the thing is that you look at it, not all coaches are liked. And I believe, though, when you get the right people that he has in Seattle, they all like him. And they want to play for him. You just look at these guys. The ones who didn't want to play for him, it wasn't the fact they didn't want to play for him. They just had their issues.
Yeah, like Percy Harvin,
right.
They told him, you got to get to stepping.
He's got some issues with him. But Pete Carroll is a coach that everybody I know of wants to play for him.
Yeah, and I think that's the part of winning football. When you look at Bill Belichick in that situation of how he's able to get the scuffed players of the world, Pete Carroll, we saw, and Mike McCarthy is another guy that, you know, you look at top coaches, his name gets brought up, but it's always fourth, fifth. Look how many big games he's been to.
No doubt.
And I think you got to give him full credit for that. We'll have a lot more here on the John Fourcade Show, sponsored each week by Veterans Ford. We'll be right back.